Oh, that's bright and sunny.
Bright and sunny.
Bright and sunny.
Bright and sunny. Oh, yeah.
What have you been doing all day?
Well, I've been doing all day.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like I've done much, but
I know.
I've got a clutch.
Well.
Well, the clutch, the thing, the fork moves. Yeah.
You remove those.
Remove those.
And then refitted new ones.
Yeah.
And you made movement.
Yeah, I made movement.
Made movement. I'm picking that plate as pretty rusted to the flywheel.
Probably.
Do we actually show what we do when we fix that problem? Or do we just not? Because it's... Do we want the customer to see what we do?
I don't know.
No, I don't know either. I'll put it in the steel bin. It's recycling. I see you've got a belt on here.
Yep.
This is another question for the belt. Is, you know, I actually got to do a proper video on the belt. The way it wraps around. I can't say routing, can I? Belt routing. Route. But of course, we over here would say the route. Which route are you taking? But route. So from the crank, you can see hydraulic fan pump stripped. And this one had a idler unit in there and it was buggered. So we up to the little idler, which has had new bearings in it. Across to the power steer, down to the alternator, up to the tensioner unit, which has had new bearings in it, down to the crank pulley. That gives good wrap around the crank. There's a little pile of metal on my wiring bench, meaning that you have been there. I actually commented on Jason how he'd done such a lovely job of removing the sub TPS or the traction control shaft, which is presently being used as a blanker, as you can see here. And you can see here he's ripped a big hole through the middle. I thought that was really clever. How did you do it? What did you say? How did you do that?
Ripped through the step drill.
Yeah, he used a step drill. It's an animal way to do it, but it works really well, doesn't it?
Why is it animal? How is it animal?
We're wrecking it anyway. We're pulling it out.
Why is it animal?
Oh, just step drills are vicious things. But it works. Doesn't it work?
For that job, it is better than a drill bit.
Now, throttle body. So he modified the throttle body. You see it's still a bit ugly. It comes down to time for us to do that. So that can probably go on to Ruben's list. Now, Jason had to refit the idle speed, and you see there's a piece of hose going into there now. Do we have the proper clamps for that breather hose? I wonder where that is. I'd like to put the proper clamps on it because I'm just fussy. Oops, sorry. Okay, what are we doing next?
No.
Making some wires to make it go, because that was our goal for the day.
Yeah.
We're not going to see. We'll get it going tomorrow. You're going to run some zip ties to hold some loom on. You're going to bracket on that anyway, so things aren't flopping around. Our power steer pump's got fluid in it. We've got some fluids, oils and waters. Let's trace some wires. We'll power it up. We should be able to power this up, eh? Put a battery in it.
Yeah, go on. Why not?
See if it smokes. Let's do it. I reckon this went to the link. Can you check the fuses, please, inside? I bet you we've got a blowing glass fuse in there.
There was salt glass fuse.
A salt? No, right. And
Nah, no fuse is glass.
can you please give it a crank?
Nah, not working.
Nothing.
Mind you, I haven't got any signs of life again.
You'll only have you got indicators?
No, nothing.
Nothing. Oh, it'll be those connections right here then. Randomly probing inside the cabin, and look, we've got ignition back. There's a bad, but hey, it's gone again. Can you turn the key on? Can you turn the key off? Off?
on.
No, off. Yeah, that's ignition. So that's ignition, we're good there. It goes down over here. It's a black-yellow wire, which is typically ignition. And then I reckon this should be start. Crank. Either it's an indicator or that's the starter motor. I'm not sure I want to actually go into the wiring in that cabin now because there's like a little gremlin in there. Right, so that's that one. So that's the big black white. We had alternator wiring in here.
The other side.
What's that?
The other side.
On the other side?
Those three wires that colour. Remember, had the trailer claw running across the elevator?
Had the trailer claw, yeah, okay.
You'll find it's probably those three wires there.
I'm aiming to get an alternator light. Is it going to have an alternator light? Oh, we had a temp gauge too. What happens when I do this? That's the oil pressure.
No, it's not.
Oh.
It's the temp gauge.
That's the oil, that's water temp?
No, water temp gauge is moving.
Wow, it's doing a funny flashy thing. Okay, so that's one of the wires that comes through the firewall. Green, yellow, green. Turn the key off. Oh. So the other one looks like an ignition pair, which would possibly be the solenoid that was on the carburetor. Maybe. I don't think these had an electric choke originally.
This one's got a choke.
Yeah, so it would have been the solenoid on the carb. So there's another good ignition for me if I wanted it. That would be a perfectly good ignition source. So I've got a yellow. I've got this wire here. What happens when I do that? Is the key on or off?
It's on.
This should be permanent power. Turn the key off. Back on. Okay, turn the key on. Oh. I know how to solve this. Cut. Cut. Lovely. Turn the key off. Okay, there's my alternator ignition source, key on. And then this should maybe, does that make a light at all?
No, it's not engaged in it.
I don't even know if it had an alternator light to begin with. So,
Well, it's not engaged in the dash.
they normally,
50 and plus 50.
yeah. So I don't know what that wire is. It may not have even had a light ever. Alright. We'll pull some wires back, eh?
Cool.
That's how the heater worked.
Should tighten together, turn the heater off. Oh, it's getting hard. Spa.
If you just drop that dash down for me, and we'll see if that light, the alternator, actually has a light at all in behind it.
It doesn't look like it.
The Lexus luckily will excite even without a light. It'll excite without a light.
I think it's just an engage. I don't think it's a the light. There's a light there. Headlights.
We don't actually need to connect this into the alternator side anyway, eh? We can just put a 3-pin plug on it.
On what?
The truck.
You've got enough to make the alternator work?
I think so. Because you put the alternator wiring in this loom, eh?
It's in there, I think.
It's in here. And it goes up into here? I reckon
I think the white wire's the signal.
the sense.
Yes.
Yeah, so you've got sense and ignition in here. That's why I was modifying that relay block. So I'll modify the relay block. We'll just put a termination on those ones in the bonnet. Job done.
Termination.
Yeah, I only need to find ignition and start. We've got ignition in here and oil, and we've just got to find the start over this side. Start's right there. So we only have to grab the start and bring a main power supply back in. That's actually going to be pretty easy. Stop. Hold up. Pop some lube in it. How about this for a really silly idea? How about I just make an adapter? How about I just make an adapter that plugs in here? Because there's start, there's ignition, start and ignition. I'll just make an adapter, plugs in, and we run the wires across.
Sure.
And then we just run a big cable from your fuse under the bonnet, back through the firewall, straight along the top of the dash, feed it across to the top of there. It needs some attention in the main body loom, so let's not chop it all to pieces and do stuff that has to be done again. I would really like an alternator light. I can see an alternator light going in here. If I can reach through to the top of that, the one that used to go to the carburetor and the temp sensor, because the temp sensor needs to go to where you are too. Job done. And then where's the output for the fuel pump? Coming off the relays.
Yeah.
And because it doesn't have a fuel pump, we can just temporary it into the bucket of noise, and then he can sort fuel pump wiring later. Which where the fuel pumps are mounted underneath.
Yep.
And the wiring for you, the wiring is tied to your into your roll bar. Yeah, it's tied down there, so it's job done. Easy. You dropped something?
Roll of tape.
A whole roll of tape you dropped?
Yep.
I can't see it down there.
It's gone forever now. Well, it's like a part roll of tape.
Did the car eat it? Eat the tape?
I'll get some more. We'll turn it up.
So you're putting some fan wiring in. That looks pretty good. Jace has done stuff over that side. So we've got a big, like a mega fuse here, and a midi. No, that's a. What is the size fuse? It's a maxi, eh? It's a maxi fuse and a mini fuse holder. So that does some of the circuits into the cabin, and this does the injection. There's the power supply going into the injection. We put a couple of plugs down in here. Without going crazy, we've given that a little bit of a tidy up in there. I would really like to see a bit more of a body rewire on this at this stage, and so while we're not getting too carried away. You see there's still a bit of ugliness in the wiring in here, but again our focus was this bit. Covers on. I saw Jace doing a clever trick this morning, because he got out the can of silicone And suddenly they look like brand new. Don't fall over. Don't fall in.
Staying on the rotating paddle between the mission.
And this little loom is going to plug in. So it's going to plug in there, into the other side. We've mounted an alternator light. That'll just plug in. And I was changing these wires. This is what I was working on right here, these ones. And into that fuse box, and we've got a couple of connections to make. Connect the fan wiring. Fingers crossed, we'll make some noise. Plugged it in. Well, I might have got them a little bit long. Yeah, I admit that. Yep, a little bit long. What do we got? We got ignition power. Beauty. Start. And this one, you see it just glows a little bit. Just glowing a little bit. But you see the alternator lights on. Yeah. I think I'll put the dash back in actually. I'm happy enough in there. There's a bit of wiring in here, Ruben. Radio and stuff. That's your department, buddy. I'll try and more identify there's a bad connection in here somewhere. Bit of ugliness, someone's done something here. Maybe that's a door switch or something, I'm not too sure. This loom actually sits around real nice. We're going to put a couple of zip ties. Yeah, a little bit of ugliness in there for you to sort. Albert's easy. Look, that's Albert right there. Simple. Jason tucks in the fuel pump wiring. Oh, no he doesn't. Jason tucked in the fan wiring. And there's other wiring for other things just sort of pushed past. Oh, that wasn't us. Probably should check the fan direction too, as per normal. So we've set this up returnless at the moment. Only because we didn't have enough fuel hose to run another hose all the way back to the bucket of noise, which is in the back. Final oil and water check. Earthed straight to the battery just by pushing it in, I see. We'll just high-tech fittings there. Look at that. I'm not sure you exceeded the quality of the loom that you removed.
High-tech with the high-tech connection.
Do I hit the go button?
I guess so.
Have you got the alternator plugged in?
Yeah, no, plugged in.
Is the alternator plugged in? I don't have an alternator light.
Which one's the alternator light?
The yellow wire.
This wire?
Yeah. Can you just put the proby light in it? Here we go. Pop that up it.
You didn't get fuel pump fire up either. Nothing.
Yeah, the alternator light works. Look. That works. Let's check it on the alternator. And no fuel pump fire up. Is that trick, Chase? Like all the way in.
You know why that happened? Because I unplugged it and plugged it back in again.
It needs to be connected all the way. Suddenly, look, we got. Hey, listen. I heard a fuel pump.
Yeah, fuel pump. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to check fuel check.
Good idea. I'll give it to you again. There's fuel pump again. And the alternator light works.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. I'll just give it a little bit of a kick in the guts here. Just. Not a massive amount of crankability there, is there? Oh, I can hear it.
Oh, let's square it.
Keys off. No voltage at all. Not even attempting to give us some voltage. Okay, I need another TPS. As per normal, I've got a spare. Here. Comes with a throttle body attached. Step 1 of diagnosing.
Doesn't reach.
Is it going to reach? No, maybe take the throttle body to the sensor. I can't see it with your fingers, am I? Oh, yep, we got some voltage there now.
It's not going to work anymore.
The probe.
The pin fell out.
The print, well, you have to put it back in.
It's
does.
down there.
It says where?
It's down there.
Good. Okay. I will. If you give me that, and the other end of it. I'm going in the cabin. I'll check it at the ECU. And you can do the turning of the throttle. Turning the throttle. Nah. We're still no good. I got voltage at water temp and at air temp, but not at TPS. Test that TPS now, just to the floor. Do you have numbers?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't calibrate the map sensor.
No.
No. No, can't calibrate it. No. Maybe that's why it's tuned to TPS.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll just make it run and then we'll see what the map sensor does. See if it actually reads. Has it actually got a setting? Can you see if there's a setting in there for map sensor? Of what it actually is?
See, it's map sensor internal, sorry.
Internal.
Yeah.
Eternal, like last forever.
Yeah, obviously it doesn't work.
How about oh, it's on the back of the intake. I could get a bit of vacuum hose and test it. Let's do that, eh?
Oh, I see it's manifold pressure 96 kPa.
Which is close.
Yeah.